Welcome back to New Age Indian Dad, episode number 3. The first two episodes I covered briefly about some of the challenges I had coming to US and then, what I did and how I wound up in Chicago. And now my story takes me to, from moving from YMCA to moving with three other roommates. And that's where the story is. The message here is very clear. My vision was very clear. And I knew what outcome I wanted. Short-term outcome I wanted and a vision. And when you're focused on your vision and your outcome, the process is not as important because you have already identified your vision and your outcome. And then you just basically put your focus right there. So my vision and focus was always to make sure that get settled down here. And while I'm settling down, also the responsibility that I was given to take care of my family back home, which is my brother Tushar and my little sister Sonal who were there, and my mom and dad who were back home in India in Sion in the apartment, and to help them whatever way I could help them financially. And also the outcome is also that I make progress on becoming a pharmacist, because for becoming a pharmacist in here I have to put about 1,800 hours and work in a pharmacy and then take a board exam. So those were like first 2 or 3 years, vision and outcome. So my roommate journey begins, because staying at YMCA was very expensive and not duplicable. Plus, it's costing me a lot of money. So, I just was fortunate enough that I was introduced to somebody that, named person was Bipin Rana, who was a pharmacist that time. And through him, we found another two roommates, Chatur Set and Mansook Pipalia. And that's how we four started our journey as a roommate at 4825 North Albany Avenue in Chicago. And we used to be on the second floor. It's a 2-bedroom with 1 bathroom. And you know what? That was perfectly okay with me because I was not feeling lonely, isolated. At least I have somebody when I come home to. And being a pharmacist and they being a pharmacist, and they were very nice, extremely accommodating. And this was just something new for me because I've never stayed outside the family. So learning it, and they've accepted me. And I used to cook and clean, and there used to be turn and all that thing, and it went on pretty well. And another thing that I want to just mention is my grandson will be 4 months on the 19th of this month in September, because he was born on May 19th, so it will be fourth month. So this is just moving along right as I had planned. So, my expense during my roommate times and all that thing was around, $200 a month. And I was earning about $800 net at that time. So I would take that $200 that I needed to take care of my living, and then I should send all $600 back home because my family dependent on it. They needed it. And you know what? That time for basic living, that shelter, food, and a good place to sleep. And there was no other things that involved, not even a basic need of TV or entertainment when I come home. I didn't have a luxury of doing that. But you know what? It was just short term that I needed to do to step up and take care of my responsibility as a family. Because my vision, as I mentioned, was very clear, is to support my family, which is back home, they're depending on me, and to move a progress on my journey to become a pharmacist, which is to put in 1,800 hours, which will take about 1.5 years to do that, then take a board exam. So by 1980, I could be a registered pharmacist, and then I could think about my other steps. Next episode, basically what I'm going to cover is about my day-to-day life, my weekly life, my weekend life, my monthly life, and how the time went on. So I'm just going to elaborate about that and what's the message in that. So this time, the message is you got to have a clear vision and clear outcome. And when you focus on that, everything else doesn't matter because you're very clear about what you want out of your life at that particular moment of time. And you're crystal clear. And the outcome is, I got to take care of my basic necessity, and everything else needs to be taken care of for my family back home. Again, this is my episode number 3, wishing you health, wealth, and happiness. And, if this even sparks a little messages, or if it makes you think a little bit deeper into your own life and say, wow, you know what? I need to really have my life and action based on a vision and outcome versus, just winging it, and you follow that. I think, this episode, you'll learn that one. Again, God bless you. Wishing you all health, wealth, and happiness from Rajesh Chotalia in New Age Indian Dad. Love you.